Bom dia, o meu nome é Carlos Pacheco. Bem-vindos a esta sessão sobre a Hannover Messe. Em 2022, Portugal será o país parceiro da Hannover Messe, o que equivale a dizer que o nosso país vai ao Campeonato Mundial da Indústria. Utilizando a linguagem futebolística, pode dizer-se que começa hoje a preparação da seleção nacional para este desafio. E começa com uma série de sessões específicas. A sessão de hoje é dedicada ao tema Engineered Parts and Solutions. Seguem-se a 10 de dezembro o tema Digital Ecosystems e a 12 de janeiro o tema Energy Solutions. Uma nota sobre a logística desta sessão. Eu irei alternar entre a língua portuguesa e a língua inglesa, tentando conciliar o interesse da nossa audiência que fala português e também dos nossos convidados que falam inglês. Pode colocar as suas questões através do chat, na barra de navegação que se encontra na base do seu ecrã, mesmo junto ao botão vermelho com o telefone, tem um separador com dois pequenos botões e a inscrição Show Q&A. Clica nessa janela, vai abrir-lhe uma segunda janela do seu lado direito e encontra aí o chat para colocar as suas questões. Quanto ao nosso programa para hoje, primeiro uma abordagem ao mercado alemão com o meu colega Miguel Crespo, depois Marco Siebert, diretor das Relações Internacionais da Hannover Messe, para nos explicar como funciona então a Liga dos Campeões da Indústria e as oportunidades que ela oferece para a sua empresa. Chamamos depois ao nosso convívio o especialista da Hannover Messe no tema Engineered Parts and Solutions, Dirk Alan de Ries. E a terminar uma experiência Hannover Messe na primeira pessoa, Joaquim Almeida, administrador da Fundiven, vem aqui contar a sua experiência. Por fim, abrimos a sessão às suas perguntas, afinal, seguramente a razão por que estamos aqui hoje. Let me now address a warm welcome to Marco Siebert and Bertel de Ries. Just to bring you up to speed, Marco and Bertel de Ries, I have been addressing our audience to introduce Portugal as Hannover Messe partner country in 2022. I was graphic highlighting Hannover Messe as the industry world championship. I explained this session as a kickoff to select the Portuguese national team for this important event. Gentlemen, I will be with you shortly. E vamos embora para a Alemanha, ao encontro do meu colega Miguel Crespo. Miguel, muito bom dia. Que Alemanha é esta para onde se dirige o nosso olhar, o olhar de todos nós, a olhar o horizonte 2022.
Obrigado, Carlos. Bom dia a todos. Foco em ver uma franca adesão a este primeiro painel, dado que ouviremos em seguida especialistas sobre a feira, sobre o setor em particular, irei focar-me neste momento numa percepção geral do entorno económico do país, Alemanha, e num momento particularmente desafiante. A Alemanha, tal e qual como a generalidade da Europa, entrou no início deste mês num novo ciclo de medidas restritivas. Cirúrgicas, é certo, porque procuram quebrar as cadeias de contágio e manter a produção, a atividade económica tão protegida e tão inalterada quanto possível. Em todo o caso, as indicações mais recentes são por parte dos diversos think tanks alemães que acompanham a economia, onde conhecer o IFO, mas há mais 6 ou 7 relevantes, apontam para que este mês tenha em si mesmo um impacto direto de 20 mil milhões de euros na atividade económica do país. Tendo em conta, por exemplo, os pacotes, a dimensão do pacote de ajuda da União Europeia a Portugal e o quadro comunitário de apoio de 40, podem ver que num só mês o impacto económico na Alemanha é muito substantivo. No nosso setor, em concreto, da atividade industrial, eu queria todavia traçar um quadro mais favorável e mais sustentável. A atividade sofreu um rombo considerável no segundo trimestre, para níveis que não se viam desde 2011, foi aquela altura em que houve uma falha na supply chain. Portanto, não foi só a questão de quebra de encomendas, foi sobretudo uma falha momentânea da supply chain. O que é certo é que um indicador que todos conhecemos, que é o IFO, do sentimento económico, que espelha a auscultação a 9 mil empresas do setor da indústria, da construção e dos serviços, tem vindo a recuperar desde um mínimo histórico em abril, para valores quase de equilíbrio, com ligeiro ajuste neste último mês, na semana passada, uma quebra que tem mais que tudo a ver com as perspectivas, nomeadamente na área dos serviços. Este indicador é composto entre indústria e serviços, na parte da indústria continua em território positivo. A Alemanha retomou a sua atividade, em termos gerais, do ponto de vista industrial, com a ressalva que todos nós sabemos da encruzilhada em que se encontra a indústria automóvel, com as implicações para os grandes players nacionais alemães. Este é o outro índice que atesta aquilo que lhes transmitia dos níveis de encomendas à indústria e, portanto, tem tido uma evolução bastante salutar nos últimos tempos. E eu faço notar o seguinte, que, na verdade, em 2018, a indústria alemã tinha dado sinais, e podem ver isto no próprio gráfico aqui, é muito claro, que o ponto de inflexão maior foi no final de 2018. Em 2018 começa a haver uma desaceleração do setor industrial e que data, por assim dizer, de antes do Covid. A indústria alemã estava em reajustamento desde então, motivo pelo qual é curioso que, em plena pandemia, se dá uma inflexão e com toda a incerteza que ainda assim para no setor automóvel. A feira da Hannover, como vamos ver, no fundo é a principal feira alemã, mas é justamente a feira do não automóvel, da indústria do não automóvel. Definir projeções económicas é particularmente ingrato, há uma dispersão enorme entre fontes diversas e altamente credíveis, que numa circunstância normal é por décimas que existem. Vamos, por exemplo, ter o quadro do governo português ou da Universidade Católica ou de outra instituição, em situações normais tem uma variação muito estreita. O mesmo se passa com a Alemanha. No quadro atual, não. E de mês para mês, a evolução é assinalável. Inicialmente previa-se um cenário mais drástico. Este que temos aqui são as últimas previsões oficiais do governo alemão. Uma quebra de 5,5% do PIB em 2020 e, na verdade, demoraremos 2 anos para recuperar os níveis anteriores à crise de 2019. Mas é certo que as medidas últimas tomadas podem levar a uma retração. Em todo o caso, a Alemanha tem-se caracterizado, é o país com a economia menos volátil da União Europeia e o setor industrial será sempre um esteio da economia alemã. Nós todos sabemos que a Alemanha é conhecida de forma simpática como o país das feiras. Anualmente andamos à volta de 170 feiras de maior calibre, feiras, por assim dizer, internacionais e outras tantas feiras de cariz mais regional. Como é óbvio, neste ano de 2020 houve sucessivas suspensões, que depois deram lugar a adiamentos, depois deram lugar a cancelamentos e um esforço a que se vem assistindo de migrar para o virtual. É um negócio que é o quarto pilar da estratégia de internacionalização da economia alemã, portanto, tem uma tradição histórica, a Alemanha, a tradição das feiras remonta à Idade Média, mas é um negócio que permite à indústria alemã, aos agentes económicos alemães, terem a oferta à porta de casa. Muitas empresas portuguesas participam em feiras na Alemanha, não só para fazer negócio com empresas alemãs, mas são feiras plataforma. E este negócio vale 4 mil milhões de euros, emprega diretamente muitos milhares de pessoas e está parado. Há um esforço de ir para o virtual, é um desafio coletivo. Portugal, por isso, e o apoio da AICEP do ponto de vista histórico, está muito centrado no apoio às empresas portuguesas em torno das feiras. São pelo menos 50 feiras que acontecem anualmente em que as empresas portuguesas participam, num total, creio, números redondos, mais de 1.200 empresas participam em feiras na Alemanha, sendo que nesta nossa feira, hoje, da Hannover Messe, temos tido uma presença regular, estável, entre 40, 60, 70 empresas, na última edição, se não me engano, próximo das 50 empresas. E temos então o desafio coletivo imenso o orgulho de termos sido reconhecidos como país parceiro da 2022, numa lógica de que Portugal faz sentido, que a economia e as empresas portuguesas fazem sentido de uma forma colaborativa com a indústria alemã. Temos uma relação histórica e que se traduz em forte investimento alemão em Portugal, com fortes exportações de empresas alemãs para a Alemanha. O setor automóvel é preponderante, mas não só. Agora, há um desafio que se soma, que é, sendo a economia alemã muito marcada por PMEs, essas empresas não estão ainda tão próximo das nossas boas PMEs. Notem que as PMEs alemãs podem talvez ter um zero a mais em termos de volume de negócios. E, portanto, temos aqui uma oportunidade de apresentar Portugal e as suas empresas numa lógica já de indústria 4.0. No fundo, não é apenas a produção isolada de peças, mas há todo um conjunto de competências que temos vindo a desenvolver, que implicam inovação, implicam transferência tecnológica, e é isso que serão argumentos que valorizarão mais a nossa participação. Por outro lado, é cada vez mais importante, e nós temos tido uma evolução assinalável nesse sentido, temos um multiculturalismo assente na nossa matriz e ganhamos em ver isso, em particular às PMEs alemãs, a abertura, a possibilidade de haver joint ventures e de, a médio prazo, também termos uma localização natural para o reshoring que está a ter lugar em muitas das áreas industriais. Claro está que este one shot de estarmos sob os holofotes, no melhor dos sentidos, nesta feira, depois recomenda uma perspectiva continuada da presença da nossa indústria. E, portanto, não é demais sublinhar. Estamos hoje a dar atenção particular às peças, portanto, a Engineered Parts and Solutions, mas a feira decompõe-se num conjunto mais vasto de tópicos, onde pontualmente também há a presença de boas empresas portuguesas. O desafio agora é que estejamos presentes, que estejamos coletivamente presentes, de forma articulada, para pôr em evidência a possibilidade de ter uma abordagem não apenas de produto, de peça, mas de solução à indústria. E com isto, para já, me calo e devolvo a palavra ao meu colega Carlos Pacheco. Portanto, aqui na ICEP, em Berlim, sou o diretor da delegação, tenho uma equipa e estamos à vossa disposição adiante também. Obrigado a todos.
Obrigado, Miguel, por este retrato da Alemanha de hoje, um país afetado pela Covid, como aliás todos os países. Uma nota interessante a reter, o forte arranque da atividade na Alemanha, depois do mínimo histórico atingido em abril. Mesmo assim, as previsões apontam para uma queda do produto interno bruto na Alemanha na ordem dos 5,5%. A economia só volta a recuperar totalmente em 2022, precisamente o ano em que estaremos em Hannover. I will now like to introduce you to Mr. Hannover Messe, Marco Siebert, Head of International Relations. So for us, Marco is indeed Hannover Messe. Thank you for being available, Marco, as always. I would now like to invite you to walk us through Hannover Messe and the potential of this trade show for Portuguese companies. Marco, the floor is yours. As you prepare your presentation, I can see you're almost ready.
So hello everybody from Hanover, and yes, it's just a pity that I cannot be in Lisbon and in Porto and all the other areas. We originally planned, of course, a roadshow live with everybody together, but as you know, we have some travel restrictions. But I'm very glad and happy that we can use the opportunity of high-tech, of digitalization in combination with our roadshow. So thank you, Carlos, and thank you all the teams and Miguel Crespo in Berlin and everybody for the preparations. I first want to go through the Hannover Messe in general, showing you the topics of Hannover Messe, giving you more information about the partner country project and what does it mean and the opportunities for Portugal. And right after we are going deeper, I have my colleague here, Director for Engineered Parts and Solutions, who will go through more dedicated through this part of the Hannover Messe. Right, yeah, as you see, we are now talking about 2 years activities. So the next Hannover Messe will be from 12th to 16th April 2021. We are still keen to do the Hannover Messe. That's safe. We are just working on different formats to have a kind of a hybrid concept. It means that we have the presence of exhibitors and visitors here in Hanover, and in parallel, we are building up digital platforms for those exhibitors and visitors who might be not able to join us in Hanover due to the pandemic situation. First of all, I give you a historical background. We are all living in historical times now, and but just to let you know, Hannover Messe was founded in 1947, and for the recovery of the European industry and global industry sectors. And yeah, it's interesting in those special times now to see that it of course works. So our beginning was a challenging time, and now we are still working again in some challenging times, but I'm very keen that even the Hannover Messe will be a big part of restructuring and rebuilding trust in industry. Just give you an overview. Hannover Messe, as you may know, is a horizontal platform. So we are covering all industry sectors globally. You see all the actual keywords of what's going on internationally in the industry sectors. And I like this chart because it shows you everything is connected. So if you remember, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, many of the industry sectors are worked separately from each other and focusing on their parts. Now everything goes hand in hand. If you see Industry 4.0 with all the digital solutions in the automation business, it's the same in the logistics, it's the same in the energy network. We are talking about man-to-machine collaboration, that robotics on the left-hand side working with people together, hand in hand, up to artificial intelligence solutions, and of course 5G network, which we are also able to offer live here at the fairgrounds. We are structured the Hannover Messe every year in regarding what's going on in the global business development for industry. So actually we are talking about 5 different major platforms. That's research and development, of course, with a lot of universities and institutions. Design, meaning also industrial design, coming also to materials and design. My colleague will explain later more about this. Automation, drive technology, data platforms, and artificial intelligence and energy solutions. Normally, in a normal year, we are still, since 73 years, the largest industrial platform globally and the most important platform globally in the world. You see that we are traditionally talking about 200,000 visitors from nearly 100 nations, also exhibitors coming from all sectors of the world. We have decision makers here. We have all the different industry sectors covered by the visitors, from manufacturing, capital goods, mechanical and engineering. Also, the energy area is quite important for us. Electrical engineering down to other areas from government and relations, and of course research and development, plus over 2,000 journalists. So it's a real attractive platform for a partner country like Portugal to be visible to the global industry world. Here's another explanation of the different visitor sectors, and you can see we are really covering all different sectors, and you can see, I think, many of them are really relevant for the Portuguese industry. It's also good to know and to see, and for me it's always very, very surprising how many big global companies and enterprises, world leaders, are here in Hanover. You see the automotive sector, which is key for the industry in Portugal, from Audi, BMW, but also all the suppliers like Continental, Brose and Wabco, Webasto are here, and you see it's really a range from North America over Europe to the Asian markets. The same we will have in the electronic sectors, where we see the big suppliers also even in the consumer market. They need from the handy and mobile phone sectors down to building up infrastructure in the buildings, in the industry sectors, restaurants, so every sector is covered. Food industry, also a huge sector for Portugal, of course, as a user group is here. So I just show you the big brands, the big names to give you an orientation for your exhibitors, who you can address here in Hanover, who you can meet in Hanover. Very important, I think, for the actual situation, the process, health and chemical industry sectors are also here in Hanover. You see BASF, Bayer, and I know many of the names are also active in Portugal, Roche, and also the consumer market with Unilever or medical market share partners from Pfizer to GE. And many, many more, of course, in the private sectors. You can see it's really a decision maker and global industry platform. Our core visitor teams, our core visitors coming from the real decision makers, CEO level, executive level, people who coming here to do investment, to buy industry solutions from the software IT, from the production, over the energy management, development, construction, and intra-logistics. And coming back to our special situation with Portugal, we are very, very happy, of course, having Portugal as a partner country for 2022, because Hannover Messe is always a government platform as well. We have every year top decision makers, prime ministers, our chancellors opening the Hannover Messe every year traditionally. And we are very, very happy that we are in the situation to invite your ministers and especially the Prime Minister to come to Hanover to open the Hannover Messe together with our Chancellor. So associations, political institutions are also gathering here to join forces with the industry for global solutions. Our lead themes are really combining every sector. I guess everybody of you here participating in this webinar see relevant topics from digitalization, individualization, to demographic change and climate protection, which is a key issue in the past years. All the global value chain about logistic and energy supply is offered at Hannover Messe, and you can really take an advantage also for knowledge transfer, because we are not talking about only exhibitors. On the one hand side, we are talking about visitors and a huge conference program where you can visit your topics and learn what is your competitor doing globally in other parts of the world. I'm just going through the exhibitor categories. Today we are going deeper in engineer parts and solutions, of course. And Carlos, our team in Lisbon, is ready to share this presentation with all of you. So I'm just going through the charts, and if you have dedicated questions, please don't hesitate to ask us, even if not today. Please send us your questions and we can contact you later in the next couple of weeks to give you more information. So everything started, of course, traditionally with industrial automation, motion and drives. So we are covering the industrial automation with the robotic solutions, man-to-machine collaboration, and up to the process automation, going to fluid and motion drives solutions. We have large forums. The Industry 4.0 topic was founded in 2011 at the Hannover Messe. This was the global start of Industry 4.0 here in Hanover. I already was part of the team, so I can lively remember this big moment, and it's amazing what's going on today. So you can see system measuring, testing technology, electrical, mechanical drives, from the smallest sensor to the biggest robotic. Everything is here visible at the Hannover Messe. Digital ecosystems, it's huge, it's growing, as you can imagine, how important it is for the industry sectors right now. I remember the times maybe 8 years ago or 10 years ago when somebody told me maybe that IBM, Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, even Google is here. All the IT companies are now at the Hannover Messe. It's unbelievable because Cloud business, cloud technology solutions is key today. It's everything about data. If you are building up a production in Portugal and you're working together with other production lines in parts of the world, you can stay in contact live with them today to work hand in hand to developing solutions. Very important for me is, you heard, of course, about the 5G network. The Fairgrounds at Hannover Messe has its own 5G network live working here in Hanover. So you can see how 5G solutions are working on site here in Hanover in the lifetime working process, which is very interesting. Autonomous technologies and mobile working solutions in the 5G sectors. That is quite interesting, and I know Carlos, also Portugal is very dedicated to IT solutions, software solutions. So I'm very happy to see the Portugal solutions here at the Hannover Messe. Logistics, value chain organization, also in Europe, we are talking about, also with the governments now, about the supply chains in Europe. Our experience in these pandemic situations shows us that we have to stabilize our supply chain, that we have to stabilize the production, maybe bringing back some part of production to Europe and to building up new solutions here, followed by logistic solutions, producing right on time, bringing the supply, the mechanical solutions to the productions when they are needed. And here at the Fairgrounds, some of you may know, we have not only huge halls, we also have a free area, open space area, where every year you can see big crane and lifting systems in the halls, the packaging technologies, loading equipment, and everything combined with Industry 4.0 and with ERP software and IT. Energy solutions, another topic which is quite relevant for Portugal. In my past travels to Portugal in this year and last year, I learned a lot of the progress, what's going on in Portugal in regards of climate neutral plans, reducing emission sustainability, building up emission sustainability, and energy networks. And so I'm really interested to see what Portugal can offer in the climate neutrality parts of industry, in the infrastructure, not just to mention hydrogen solution, hydrogen fuel cell solutions, energy in production and building, energy management, energy efficiency is key. And also we have a platform here in Hanover with forums about this. We have the Integrated Energy Forum, we have the Hydrogen Fuel Cells Europe Forum and special displays. And I really invite you, bringing specialists also next year to Hanover to speak at these opportunities. Engineering Parts of Solutions, we will talk a little bit later, so I go over this slide now. Compressed and air vacuum, also interesting in these days. Traditionally, we talked about industry compressed air, and with companies like Kaeser or other Atlas Copco or other global players. For the industry sector, compressed air is something which you cannot see, but if it is not there, you cannot work. It's the same with power. So it's really key to the energy efficiency of a production line and safety. But now we are also getting requests from the health sectors, because no building, no hospital can work with compressed air and vacuum technologies. So you see, the pandemic is also a chance, even for us, to learn how we can engage in those industry topics. Future Hub was building up for since the coming past years, together with our industry leaders, bringing startups and young people, small companies from the startup sector to the Hannover Messe to talk about the future of work, to meet careers opportunities, careers markets, and coming from the research and development sector to the real business. This is key. Finding investors is key to the young enterprises. They can showcase their innovations here in Hanover. They can do a pitch to the industry leaders to bring new products into the markets. Yeah. image-orientated, agenda setting, and mass communication. 2 years ago, I never thought about the importance of this sector and these activities. We see it today in this webinar. The good news for you is whatever happens next year, we are prepared to offer everything on-site, live here in Hanover, and in parallel digital in the network. We are using from the traditional communication sectors all the channels up to the digital ways. We just built up we call it a digital hub in Hanover, that we are able to do presentations who are live in Hanover, visible to the digital world in other sectors of the world. Partner country next year is Indonesia. It was almost planned for last year, but for this year, but couldn't happen. So we just moved it to next year, and it's quite interesting. I can really invite you to visit the National Pavilion of Indonesia. It's a huge market, 260 million people working there, ready to go more digital, ready to go developed. They are really interesting in new market partnerships. Especially from Europe, that's important. I know Portuguese is a strong European orientated country, and Indonesia is very much interesting in European partners to become more independent from China, to become more independent from the Asian market. So this is really interesting for Portugal to discuss with Indonesian guys, and we are happy to connect you with those people to see how you can do business in Indonesia. Yeah, coming to partner country, I'm very glad, I'm very happy that we get the confirmation of the Portuguese government, the Prime Minister and the Minister Cesar Vieira especially, the first time ever having Portugal as partner country at the Hannover Messe. You can see here just a few examples from the past years. You can see the big names of industry leaders like United States, like China, India, or other countries, also European countries like the Netherlands, like Poland, Sweden, and now it's really great to have Portugal. And maybe it's a great, it's a great opportunity for Portugal. Sometimes those countries are, for the global industry, a little bit a hidden champion. And now you can show you're not a hidden champion, you're really visible and ready to go global. As I explained, the partner country project combines economic policy level. So I'm very glad to know that Minister Cesar Vieira is supporting our program very much, together with ISAP and all the associations, with IMAP especially, a good partner of us. Minister Cesar Vieira was already confirmed to be in Hanover next year to participate in a Portuguese forum together with the German Minister of Economy. And in parallel, when we are talking about forums and conferences about future of industry, we have the business live on site, the business level, and the people are doing business on site to increase their business and value. We all have a common goal together with Portugal as partner country. You can see the bundle of activities we are doing together with the government of Portugal via media, of course, having the exhibitors from Portugal here, industry communities, political decision makers, research institutes, and of course, associations and chamber of commerces. So what is in for Portugal? The opportunity is to attract global investors and to come to Portugal to do business, to present Portugal as a first-class provider of high-quality products and attractive location to invest and to follow up business in Portugal, but also advancing the policy agendas. I think this is very important also for ISAP and IMAP and other partners to have a stronger position of Portugal in the foreign and industrial markets, but also for the companies. It's very relevant to participate as an exhibitor, to recruiting new customers and partners, meeting top decision makers from other parts of the world, expanding your personal networks, and also to learn what are your competitors doing in the other countries of Europe, but also in Asia, in China, in Japan, in Korea. And this is the reason for Hannover Messe to be such important, because if you want to expand your global business and network, you just have to travel to Hanover. In 5 days, you can meet those people from North America, from all over Europe, and from Asia. And can you imagine to travel to all these countries separately? It takes you years. So it's a chance to get the first contact, the first approach. As we learn in this pandemic, it's very, very important to have personal meetings to create trust, to do business together. And on the other hand, you can see what are your competitors doing in Korea and Japan. Do you know this actually? It's very important for you to learn about these opportunities. I call Hannover Messe like a shopping mall of industries. It's like you go in a huge shopping mall and you can see all your competitors from your sector side by side. You can walk to them, you can talk to them, and you see on the other side your clients and customers. And finally, to improve your knowledge, to getting leads, new contacts, building up corporations, signing contracts, doing business, and doing new and creating new value. So that's all from my side, and I now would like to hand over back to Carlos to introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Marco, for your enthusiastic presentation. It was so enthusiastic that we already have requests to share this presentation, which we will do at the end of this session. As Marco just explained, Hannover Messe trade show is comprised of a set of theme areas. The Portugal Partner Country project is being built up with focus in 3 theme areas: engineered parts and solutions, digital ecosystems, and energy solutions. The focus today is engineered parts and solutions. Gert Ellen de Vries is a specialist in this field from Hannover Messe. Gert Ellen de Vries, welcome to the floor. Please walk us through the key topics and best opportunities for suppliers in 2020.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I start, let me introduce myself. As already mentioned, my name is Gert Ellen de Vries, and I work for Deutsche Messe since 1988, so I'm a little bit like an old furniture in the staff of Deutsche Messe, but anyhow, I try to do my best and for the next years as well. And I'm responsible for the subcontracting sector. That was the older name, subcontracting. And now we call this part or this sector of the Hanover Fair engineered parts and solutions. Let me start with the situation we had planned for 2020, where IMAT was located in Hall 9020, a hall where the main topics is metal working and metal processing. And this is exactly the situation we will try to realize again in 22. Then hopefully again with 1,000 exhibitors and a number of visitors as we were used to in the past, of course. On the visitor side, hopefully we can expect again, of course, nobody knows exactly what will be in the time after Corona, but I'm quite sure that we can expect again 35% international visitors, 50% of our visitors from the manufacturing and processing industry, and two-thirds of visitors which are involved in procurement decisions. I think that's a very important fact. So what does the engineered parts and solutions sector stand for? Many of today's industrial subcontractors work with their customers as development partners, which makes these companies the key drivers, what we think the key drivers of innovation in industry. For example, 3D printing enables cost-effective rapid prototyping with various materials. Or take the impact of lightweight design. In every field where motion is involved, weight reduction is the key to greater efficiency. The whole product spectrum of the industrial supply covers everything from development, design, and processes to parts, components and materials know-how, as already mentioned. So the key topics are engineering services, metal working, metal processing, already mentioned, This the processing means not the process as itself. This means the display of casting products, forging products, sheet metal products, and machined parts. And of course, additive manufacturing and lightweight construction is one of our newer and advanced technologies. Special displays you can expect in the field of lightweight construction and engineering ceramics. Very special field of our technical parts. Of course, we also want to continue with our successful additive manufacturing symposium. This is supported by the VDMA, the German Association for Mechanical Engineering. We also think there might be a chance for realizing the suppliers forum again. We had to cancel for next year. So we hope that the suppliers forum will be back on display in 22. So one trend-setting highlight is the our lightweighting summit. In 2019, it was the second lightweighting summit, and we're not sure if we can continue in 21, but we are sure that we can go ahead in 22. And this is a cooperation with the German Ministry of Economic Affairs. And what might be very important to you is that the Ministry of Economic Affairs planned to internationalize this lightweighting summit step by step. So maybe we can cooperate in the next years, but we have not finished our plans right now. So this as a first overview, and I hope you have many questions that I can give you the answers to this.
And thank you very much for your introduction on the best opportunities in regards to engineered parts and solutions. Going back now into Portuguese. Já temos o contexto, a Alemanha, já temos o objetivo, a Nova MES 2022. Nosso foco por hoje, Engineered Parts and Solutions. Só falta por agora uma experiência de participação neste evento. Chamo agora ao nosso convívio Joaquim Almeida, administrador da Fundiven. Senhor Joaquim, muito bom dia. Eu começo por lhe pedir que nos descreva de uma forma muito breve o que faz a sua empresa.
Bom dia. A Fundiven nasce em 1978 na área da fundição de alumínio injetável. Nasce com produto próprio até 1993, onde decide, junto com a primeira certificação que obteve de qualidade, virar completamente a produção. A partir daí começámos um largo caminho para tentar buscar qualidade, empresas de qualidade dentro da nossa área. Foi isso que aconteceu. Começamos a produzir para empresas multinacionais localizadas em Portugal, num princípio. Crescemos de uma maneira orgânica e de maneira sustentável. Achamos em 2000, depois da crise de 2008, que era o momento de internacionalizar a empresa de uma maneira mais efetiva. Efetivamente, a acabar 2010, assistimos a uma feira em Paris, a Midest, e em abril de 2011 começa o nosso percurso em Hannover Messe.
E de que forma que a Hannover Messe ajudou a Hannover Messe ajudou à estratégia da sua empresa?
Pois, a questão é que há uma linha a dividir a Fundiven antes de abril de 2011 e depois de abril de 2011. A Fundiven, possivelmente, essa primeira feira correu bem do ponto de vista de assistência, de recolha de dados, de contactos. Possivelmente ficámos afogados, não pensávamos que o benchmarking dos potenciais clientes fosse tão violento, fosse tão rápido e tão maciço. mas o certo é que a partir daí foi feita uma planificação, nunca mais deixamos a Novarmess, por duas razões muito simples, porque acho que concentra todo o potencial de clientes que é o foco da Fundiven, e porque já nesse momento os nossos dois maiores clientes eram multinacionais alemãs. Isso veio permitir, num primeiro tempo, aproximar-nos a tudo o que aparecia de tecnologia e ver como é que no futuro podíamos aplicá-la, além, evidente, de fazer a recolha de contactos. A partir daí foi completamente diferente a abordagem dos potenciais clientes.
Senhor Joaquim, olhando para tudo isso, o que é que lhe pareceu mais importante, mais determinante nesta sua participação?
O mais determinante para a Fundiven é mesmo o networking. É a vantagem de, simultaneamente, que se consegue fazer contactos para potenciais clientes, que é preciso trabalhar muito, e na nossa área são longos, são demorados, um processo entre um primeiro contacto em Hannover Messe, normalmente dá frutos 2 feiras depois, por falar de alguma maneira, em ciclos, já ali num ciclo possivelmente de 3 feiras seguidas, porque os potenciais clientes, hoje clientes de qualidade, também querem nos ver lá, querem notar que de alguma maneira somos consistentes, que temos força para lá estar, para ser de alguma maneira perseverantes.
Senhor Joaquim, estamos hoje a falar para um conjunto de empresas que podem certamente estar na Hannover Messe 2022, no contexto de Portugal Partner Country da Hannover Messe dentro de ano e meio. Falando para essas empresas, se lhe pedisse um conselho sobre o que deve fazer e o que não deve fazer, que recomendação é que diria?
O que deve fazer é simples e demorado, e acho que é o momento exato. Acho que a ICEP começa da melhor maneira, que é preparar um caminho que pode ser longo para muitas empresas, que tecnicamente são capazes, mas que precisam de alguma maneira organizar para se suportar. É preciso desenvolver contactos antes. Isso há muitas maneiras de fazer, cada quem no setor sabe e conhece a melhor maneira. Mas deve-se preparar. A feira dá resultados se o pós-feira for bem desenvolvido. É preciso dar resposta a esses contactos, a essa estrutura que aparece a partir daí. A estrutura tem que mudar. Na maioria das empresas tem que estar preparado para responder de forma rápida. Cada vez mais nós sabemos isso. Hoje defrontamos-nos com projetos de clientes numa quinta-feira, por alguma razão, e não vamos agora falar disso, não é? Mas dizer assim, olha, segunda-feira ao fim do dia é preciso resposta disto, é preciso um orçamento, é preciso uma resposta técnica para mudança de um processo. Eu acho que as empresas devem-se preparar, fazer uma investigação, apoiar, saber quais são os pontos fortes que têm, corrigir, aproveitar que têm ano e meio pela frente para corrigir as debilidades, fazer uma espécie de SWOT para a feira, para saber o que é que tem o caminho que tem que percorrer. Eu acho que pode ser por aí.
Senhor Joaquim, muitíssimo obrigado pelo seu testemunho. Chegamos agora ao período de perguntas e respostas neste webinar sobre a Hannover Messe. We have now reached the Q&A session. Your questions to our guests are most welcome as of now. If the questions are addressed to Marcos Zibert or Vertellen de Ries, please address them in English. Se as perguntas forem dirigidas ao meu colega Miguel Crespo ou ao Sr. Joaquim, podem sê-lo naturalmente em português. And Marco, I would like to address you a first question. Besides showcasing their products in Hannover Messe in 2022, what do you think are the most important opportunities for companies while present in Hannover Messe?
The most important opportunity for Portuguese companies is to meet new customers and new clients and partners from the world. I know Portugal very well right now. It's a great country, and I know IMAP, and I was just recently in Porto. And so if you are in your industry sector, you're in the first step working in your country and in your country's community. You know each other, you know the customers, and you know the potential. The next step is going abroad. Mainly for many companies is first Europe as part of the European Union. So some of these Portuguese companies already going maybe to conferences or events to meet people in Europe. And the third step is, of course, thinking global. And the chance for companies at Hannover Messe is to meet new potential customers from other countries in Europe and also from other countries of the world. And as I mentioned in my presentation, if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to export your products, the question is always where to go. Where is the next country? Where to develop my business? Where is the right culture? Where are the right people? Where are the right circumstances to do business? Tax relations, tax regulations, and those kind of things. And the first step is much more easier to go to a platform as Hannover Messe, where you can learn, where you can meet new partners, maybe from other countries of Europe first, but then maybe you meet some partners, special new potential customers from the United States, from Canada, and other countries, to meet with them, to sit down together with them, to create trust, and then it is easier to follow up. It's easier to go then to dedicated people you already met. You know, this is a potential partner for me. I have the ability to work with them. Plus, your government and your association supporting these companies. They don't go alone. They don't go separate as an individual. We invite them to go as a group, let's say, to Hanover. IMAP is organizing the joint pavilion, so the partner is there from the industry sector to give them guidance. Here, ISEP, with your global experience, I see Miguel Crespo, we know each other very well in Berlin. So you can, how to do business in Germany, for example, how to create business in new areas. There is IMAP, there is ISEP, there are the chambers of commerce, also from Germany, who then can give these companies guidance how to do business in those countries. So this bundle of opportunities in just a couple of days. I'm working also a long time for Deutsche Messe, and I can tell you, even by accident, you collect so many cards and contacts that is sometimes difficult to follow up. So our team is here in Hanover. We have a great cooperation with your government, with ISEP, with IMAP, with all these partners, and we are preparing them. We are joining forces to support the Portuguese companies, even smaller SMEs, to come to Hanover to do the first step, entering global markets.
Marco, Hannover Messe is always trying to improve to be as more enthusiastic, as more attractive as always. Will we see any changes in the display of Hannover Messe in 2022, let's say when compared to last year or so?
In general, let's say outside the pandemic discussion, in general, Hannover Messe changes its structure every year a bit, because we are the showcase, the window of the industry globally. So that's why Wert is in his industry sector so successful as a global director. I'm working as a director of international relations. We are traveling worldwide. We are staying in contact with other partner associations and corporations to learn what's going on next year, next 2 years, and 5 years. So especially in case of digitalization, IT business, We are talking about artificial intelligence and the robotic development. These areas will grow. Digitalization, Industry 4.0, individualization, talking about materials. Yeah, I remember the old times. We're coming from steel via aluminium, which is more flexible and easier to handle, and now plastics. So you can see this is the future, to be more individual, to be more efficient, and especially in those challenging times, we know how important it is also to meet people. It's nice to have webinars on digital solutions, but we all learn now in the couple of months that we need to stay in contact and to meet. And for 2022, as based on my presentation and what Wert is describing you, this is our basis. We are working and we're developing the topics in this direction. 21 will be a kind of an intermediate year. Yeah, we are talking about hybrid exhibitors, live and digitalization, and we are very keen that we can go on more or less as usual in 2022 with this new developments.
Marco, one last question before we end. This is not the first time that you deal with Portuguese companies. What can you tell us about your experience of last working years with Portuguese business associations and Portuguese companies?
Yeah, first of all, we are talking to friends. So this is very important if you do business. Yeah, we are in Europe. Our culture is very close. Our understanding of doing business is similar, nearly the same. Free trade is key. Yeah, open for new business, open for new developments is key. I know many companies here in Germany, especially also in Hanover, who are investors and having a production in Portugal since decades, just to mention Volkswagen, just to mention Continental, which is here based in Hanover and in that area. I know Siemens and other companies are very successful since years because you have a great education system. Yeah, and since years, our Chamber of Commerce, together with you government, built up an education structure and strategy, because if you want to produce products and invest in Portugal, you need educated people. And this is there. You have great universities, you have great education system. So this is easy for German companies to start in Portugal. And the other way around, we have the open market in Europe. That makes life easy for Portuguese companies to do business in Germany. And of course, the cultures. Many of people, we have a small Portuguese village here in Hanover, in the center of Hanover, with Portuguese restaurants. I was there since a child. So when you have a look at Hamburg, yes, it's Portuguese little village in Hamburg, close to the harbor. So we know each other from soccer games, from cultural kind of things. This is all about, it's all about people. And I did 5 trips to Lisbon now, 3 or 4 trips to Porto, and also to the south. And I can say it's all about people. You have the technology, you have the innovations, you're ready to go to global markets, you're welcome investments, and you have great people to work with. That's my experience. I cannot wait to fly over again to Portugal to work together with you.
Thank you, Marco. We are reaching the end of this session. Estamos a chegar ao fim. A terminar, coloco-lhe agora uma questão. E o que é que fazemos a partir daqui? O meu convite é para que as empresas que estiveram hoje connosco comecem por apresentar uma expressão de interesse. Manifestem o vosso interesse em participar na Hannover Messe 2022. É apenas uma manifestação de interesse não vinculativa. Podem fazê-lo através da AIMAP, através do Pedro Azevedo, e-mail pedro.azevedo@aimap.pt, através da AICEP, através do Luís Oliveira, e-mail luís.oliveira@portugalglobal.pt, ou ainda via Câmara do Comércio e Indústria Luso-Alemã, Mónica Colasso, mail monica-polaco@cecila-portugal.com. Certamente percebeu que estas indicações também se encontram no chat, no lado direito do seu ecrã. Recordo que a sua manifestação de interesse não reflete o compromisso, sinaliza apenas o seu interesse em juntar-se a esta seleção nacional. Depois, quando estiverem definidas as condições de participação, pode transformar a sua manifestação de interesse em compromisso. Quais são então as condições de participação para as pequenas e médias empresas? Bom, elas estão a ser definidas neste momento, mas são semelhantes às condições habituais em projetos conjuntos. No essencial, todas as despesas elegíveis não são comparticipadas em 50%, em algumas rubricas com determinados limites. Há também descontos nos valores colocados pela Hannover Messe. No valor por metro quadrado, também a taxa de expositor é eliminada. Mas estes são apenas indicadores para ficar com algumas referências e começar já a pensar em juntar-se a nós na Hannover Messe 2022. Logo que as condições de participação estejam finalizadas, será então informado. Se apresentar a sua manifestação de interesse, abre-se então uma linha de comunicação connosco e pode também começar a envolver-se com a IMAP, com a ICEP e também com a Câmara de Comércio e Indústria Luso-Alemã na preparação para a melhor participação possível na Hannover Messe 2022. Queria recordar que tanto a Câmara de Comércio e Indústria Luso-Alemã como a IMAP têm programas de preparação para empresas para que se possam apresentar da melhor forma possível na Hannover Messe. Este é o momento para deixar cair o pano sobre esta sessão. Recordo que faremos ainda mais algumas sessões sobre a Hannover Messe. 10 de novembro, foco em Digital Ecosystems. 12 de janeiro, foco em Energy Solutions. E agora é mesmo a hora de passar aos agradecimentos. It's now time to go and deliver a thank you note to Marco Siebert and Vertellen de Ries. Obrigado ao Sr. Joaquim Almeida e ao meu colega Miguel Crespo. Obrigado especialmente a si, razão por que estivemos aqui hoje. Por hoje é tudo. Se não nos encontrarmos antes, espero vê-los em Hannover 2022. Até lá, fiquem bem.